Okay, I have a brief introduction video for you today, guys. We know that there are 2 pi radians all the way in the whole circle. So because of that, we can kind of divide things up. And we actually did talk about this a little bit in class this year, but we did not go super far with it. So I know that right now, if I start over here on the right side of the x-axis, I just put a little 0 there. That's 0 radians because I haven't gone anywhere. If I go all the way around the circle, that same line is actually 2 pi radians. It's just if I go all the way around like that. So let's talk about how you might figure out how some of these other ones are. We have some key lines, some key radians that you're going to have to know next year in pre-calculus. And so it'll be super helpful if you know them now. Let's just think about this for a minute. So if going all the way around the circle is 2 pi, then what is going halfway around the circle? Pi, of course, right? So I'm not going to do all of these for you because I want you to kind of figure some of them out. But I thought if I did a few of them for you, it would help you to start thinking about it correctly. So let's think together for a minute here. If that is pi radians, if going from here to here is pi radians, I know I just erased that, then going here where I just drew this red line must be pi over 2 radians, or you could say 1/2 pi. The first way is actually the more common way to write it, but I know that at first it might make sense to think of it as like 1/2 pi. If that is 1/2 of a pi, okay, so going a quarter of the circle is 1/2 of a pi. If I go another quarter of a circle, that's 2/2 of a pi. So basically I go from pi over 2 to 2 pi over 2, which obviously that simplifies to give you pi. If I go another one, that would be 3 pi over 2. And if I go another one, that would be 4 pi over 2. And 4 pi over 2 simplifies to 2 pi. So it makes sense. So what you guys are going to need to do with your task is I've given you a blank unit circle, but I don't want you to fill in any coordinates or anything yet. Just the lines where you can kind of start figuring out what some of these other ones are. I really want to encourage you to think about fractions. Maybe it might be helpful to color things so that they have, like the different fractions have different colors. So like if I do this with a red highlighter, all of my halves, if you will, are all red. And then I kind of went around and split. Do you see how I split the pi? I split the half of the circle. So remember, half of the circle is pi. I split half of the circle into 4 parts. So I split them into fourths. So I kind of made all the fourths blue. And then I could go further with that. I could make all the sixths something or all the thirds something. And that's what I want you to try to do today with your task. So on your own, without looking at a video first, please try to open and fill out the blank unit circle with all of the key radians.